Hi everyone, Vicky Schettini here, and how are my boss ladies doing today? I'm really excited to present to you Cari Briner. She is the president of coaching Adam, and I'm going to say his name messed up, Hergenrother.
Yep.
Say that right?
You did.
Okay, I did it. You know, we've had this great conversation before getting started, and oh my gosh, it's a subject that is, I've struggled with it so many times, and I can't wait to tell you what it is, but it is something that nobody talks about. Let's talk a little bit more. So Cari, thank you for coming on the show. I'm really excited to speak with you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your background, and then we'll get into what you're doing now.
Absolutely. So in a nutshell, I have been in the real estate industry since I graduated from college. So it's been almost 20 years now. I raised my 2 boys while selling real estate. So very grateful for the career, grateful for the industry. Have always been super passionate about being my own business owner, kind of controlling my own destiny from that degree, you know, not having a lid being put on me. That was always what appealed to me about being an entrepreneur and a business owner. And so I really had a great run at selling real estate for about 10 years here in Minneapolis. I then had an opportunity to move into a leadership role at a brokerage, also in the Minneapolis area, and really worked with a lot of amazing real estate professionals, help them build their businesses, build their teams, hire staff members, you know, recruit agents, and really have a leveraged business, which was something I did not have when I sold. And I became super passionate about helping people figure out how can they have a leveraged business, meaning they're not working all the time 24/7 like I found myself many times, and really finding that leverage. So that was something that was exciting to me. It helped me to grow that real estate office to the #1 office in our state. And then I moved into the role, as you mentioned, Vicky, working side by side with Adam Hergenrother, who actually owns the #4 real estate team in the world right now. I had the opportunity to help him build that business, which has been amazing. It's fun. I love helping people grow their businesses. So it was right in line with what I wanted to be doing. But during that time, I actually had a tremendous amount of personal growth being coached by Adam, while I was also then coaching others to the same kind of personal growth, using business as the conduit to growing yourself. Because what we were finding is, especially in the entrepreneurial fields, in real estate and so forth, but really in life in general, there's a lot of people that are very successful in business that are not super happy in life in general. They haven't been able to go through the personal growth that they've needed to feel fulfilled. So they're doing all this stuff, but for what? And or they're working so much to then at the end of their life go and enjoy what they worked so hard for, but so many of them never actually did. So it's kind of the difference between, you know, while you're working and building a business, how can you also improve and work on yourself? And when you do that, you're happier. And quite frankly, I think most of the time your business is better. But it's a mindset shift. It's one I was completely unaware of. So as I went through that, I was excited. And then I started doing coaching with Adam's coaching company. And so our goal now is just to bring this kind of business coaching along with the personal coaching so that people can start to do this for themselves, which I'm super excited and passionate about doing, because my life has been, quite frankly, very positively changed because of it.
And this is huge, guys. It's not just real estate, it's just general business. I mean, we get so wrapped up with work and we don't stop. And one of the things you said earlier to me was, if I don't go meet this client, you know, if I don't get up and go do it now, I could lose this client. So it's something, as an agent, you obviously have to eat next month. So you need to make sure you constantly feeding that pipeline. And me being in real estate myself, you know, my mom has told me in the past, Vicky, you need to stop and smell the flowers. And it was something I couldn't comprehend, because I had to work. You know, my daughter had to eat, and I do had that guilt in the past, but of course we have to put a roof over their heads and whatnot. And she said, Vicky, you only just have to do one deal. I said, Mom, do you realize how hard it is to just do one deal and be consistent? Because you have to do the things right. And if you want it, and you just get more than one deal. So it was something that I personally have struggled, so I know firsthand. And I know there's many of you boss ladies out there that are going through, either have gone through it or are going through it right now. So what would be something that you can tell us that are going through it? Because we do feel that we do have to make sure that we don't drop the ball, the follow-up, because it does affect our business, and our kids have to eat. We have to have a roof over our heads. What is something we can implement today?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is that we have to realize, yes, we have to work. And I think it's particularly hard sometimes for moms. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, especially because we're trying to do it all. And that's just who we are as human beings. And so we don't give ourselves enough grace. First of all, we always are trying to be everything to everyone. When I sold for 10 years, I was there for my children, meaning I was there and I was making sure that they were fed. And if I wasn't with them, I made sure somebody that could take good care of them was. I was able to not have them in full-time daycare, which for whatever reason in my mind, it made me feel better because I had grandparents, or I was home in the morning. I worked afternoons and evenings, and then they switched and they were with their dad. And so I kind of in my mind told myself the story that that was all good. What I would tell you though is when you, and this, all of you watching, when you own your own business, and maybe you have the financial pressures and you just have life going on, you're not actually, even though you're physically there, are you actually really there with your children? Like I remember for 10 years, I feel like if I were to describe it, I was living a bit in a fog. I was living very much in my mind. I was thinking about the next thing I had to do before I was even finished with the thing I was doing. And so even though I was physically at the park with my children, I was like on my phone on a phone call, or I wasn't taking time to actually time block and take time, even if it was just for 20 minutes, to actually have what I would call like soul time with my child, where it was just uninterrupted. I'm here with you time. And what I didn't understand at that time was that that 20 minutes could be more impactful or powerful than 4 hours of me not being present, but just being there. And so that is the one thing I would say to everybody watching, which is you're going to have a lot going on. You're going to have to be in a lot of different places. Realistically, if you've got children, if you've got businesses, or just even a job that it takes a lot of your time and attention. We all have technology. So, we're being called on and we're getting emails and texts all the time. But what we have to understand is that we have to get clear on who and what is the most important. Not everything matters equally in life. And yet, when we can have more clarity around who and what are the most important, the decisions that we make in terms of our time should be quite easy. I say that meaning it should be, but most people, we don't live like that, including myself for 10 years. So what I would say is, for me, what changed is I realized, number one, I had to love and lead myself first. Because if I wasn't, I couldn't really be the best mom. I couldn't be the best realtor. I couldn't be the best business owner or the best for my clients. And I was finding that by being all over the place, not taking 1 minute for myself, not really being ever appreciative or present in the moment, which was what your mom, Vicky, said to you, which is to stop for a minute and smell the flowers. That's what she meant, which is just slow down for a minute and just be present and just be in the moment. And what I found is that I actually could do all the things I needed to do and get more out of those experiences if I was willing to just make them a priority. And maybe it was a shorter period of time, but just go all in and do that thing. So for an example, for me, the number one domino was I had to give myself some time to release stress, to get more focused. And that was exercise for me. For many years, I was not overweight because I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but I didn't actually exercise. I wouldn't say I was tremendously healthy because I didn't take the time for myself ever. And I don't even know if the exercise I started to do really as impactful as the health part of it was. The mental health part of it was the most important, because I actually had a moment to just clear my mind, to reduce some stress and anxiety, to think about what I needed to get done, to just have time for myself. That was my first domino. And then it kind of helped me to create what I now call my morning routine, which I know you probably all have heard about that. I don't know if there's one more fundamentally powerful thing that I've done in my life that is to change my morning routine so I feel better equipped to lead and love myself all day, which then leaks into my people, my family, my spouse, my kids, my team, the people I coach. And so that would be one place to start. But Vicky, the biggest thing I think is that we feel as if we have to say no to this in order to say yes to something else. I think, quite frankly, we just have to get more clear on what we're willing to do when, and have faith and confidence that if we have a dinner date with our spouse that we want to have every month and it falls on this day, that if a client wants to see a house then, that we just say, I'm sorry, that doesn't work for me. I have another appointment, but can we do it this day and time instead? Too many of us just say yes without realizing that we could say no and they probably would be fine and they'd reschedule. There are instances where maybe we couldn't do that. I understand that. But in general, I think we just start to go on like autopilot and we just start following what people want us to do. And then we no longer have control over our lives. And then we're unhappy.
It's crucial because let's say if it wasn't your spouse, it was another client that you had, you would tell them no. You say, I already have another appointment at this time. Can we do it on this day?
Yes.
So it is something that you would definitely do, but you, oh my gosh, you are 100% right. One of the other things, as you're talking, all this stuff was coming to my head. And for the longest time, if I go taking vacation, I was there, but I wasn't mentally there because I had so much guilt that I was actually on vacation. By the time I got over not feeling the guilt, it was time to come back. So then it didn't work, but the work's going to be there, whether you're working 48 hours, 60 hours in that day, whatever it is, it's still going to be there the next day. That's what I find is when I do take time away, it gets easier and easier that you will not feel the guilt. And it's just baby steps that I had to do. I had to really just kind of commit to myself and do it. And I think I didn't do it because I was trained. I think I had gotten burned out.
Yeah.
And I got to the point that I said, okay, I just, no phones, no nothing. And you come back so much recharged. So everything you are saying, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I felt this. And I know some of you ladies out there, I know you know what I'm talking about. So this is some really, really good stuff that we all need to follow, including myself. There's some areas that I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that.
Well, and you said something about the vacation, taking baby steps. I think that for all of us, this is how we start. We have to take a baby step because we'll be very uncomfortable if we completely switch around how we're running our business or change our whole time blocks. And so I would definitely suggest starting small steps, but really just starting with that morning schedule. If you can win your morning and you can give yourself some time back and you can feel clear in your mind and you can kind of get recharged just like you did when you finally went on a vacation, like you can actually make every day start like that if you create the right morning routine. For me now, I'm training for a marathon. I've never run a marathon before.
Wow, good for you. Good for you.
I did something that would force me to make sure that I stuck with a routine of training. And so sometimes for me, my personality is I need to do something that I now need to achieve, and then it will hold me more accountable. So my husband and I said, what are we going to do that is going to do that to keep elevating this? So he signed up for his own race and I signed up for mine. So we're on this journey. But for me, if I can give myself some time in the morning, I fill my mind with some good information, some positive information. Maybe it's an audible, maybe it's a podcast while I'm doing a little bit of a run. I'm writing 3 things down that I'm grateful for every morning, starting in gratitude. And then I'm going and having breakfast with my family, and then I'm going on with my day. What I found is I've already now checked the box of personal growth. For some people, they're doing meditation or praying or gratitude, whatever that is for them in the morning, to center their mind, to do what they need to do to feel ready for the day. Because when you wake up and you have children, for an example, and everything is chaotic, and we've all been there probably,
yeah.
Wake up and it's like it starts chaotic and your whole day is chaotic from there because you can't calm it once it starts. So crazy, right? So for us, I'm like, if if I can just be calm for a little bit and have my own peace of mind, for it doesn't even matter for you ladies if you only have 15 minutes, just do something for 15 minutes. It literally can be a game changer. Then you've checked the box of personal growth, of health and fitness, and maybe even depending if you can do something with your kids in the morning that's intentional, you're not using your phone, you're not thinking about anything, and even if it's a 15 or 20-minute quick breakfast with them, you've done something intentional, you've built that relationship, and now you really can go on with your day doing the things that you need, and you were able to check those boxes. It didn't have to be, you just jumped right into work the second you woke up and didn't do anything for yourself, or you didn't see your children, but the problem is that it's a habit we create.
I like that.
Right?
I really like the checking of the boxes. I never thought of it that way, but yes, make sure that those are things that you incorporate in your day, and you check your box. I don't do that on a daily basis. And there are some days that I revert back, and then by the end of the day, I'm like, okay, back it up. Here I go. It's easy to get back on that cycle. So it's something that you have to program yourself to do.
Yeah, you can retrain yourself. I was trained to just get up and start working the second I woke up, and to feel like I was in the hamster wheel, just chasing my clients, and then just pretending like I was with my kids at the park while I was negotiating a contract. And by the time I went to bed, I didn't even know what happened. And, it was a blur. And I was like, what even just happened? And then if I really think about it now, the question is like, but what was I doing that for? Like, that's what I don't even know. I really think that is because, yes, I needed to make money, but it was just this thing that as a natural achiever, which many people probably listening to this podcast, we're high achievers. We want to be successful. We don't want to let a client down. And to your point, if you're a realtor and you're consistently getting one transaction a month, it's hard to just maintain one. If you're going to build your pipeline, it's going to snowball. So what do? Say no to some and say, if you're a high achiever, you're just not going to do that. And so the reality is that I feel like if we just slow down for a minute, we go, like, what is it that we're really doing the business for? What really is the point and the purpose of business? For me, a period of time, my business was a place that I went to hide from the things that I wasn't that happy about in the rest of my life. And it also was the place that made me feel successful and somewhat happy. And I made money, and then I would go buy some material things, and that would make me feel even better. But at the end of the day, after about 10 years of that, what I really realized was none of that actually really made me happy. It actually made me feel more empty. And now 10 years had gone by, and I don't even know what I did with my life. And so that was the moment for me. And I'll tell you today, I make just as much money. I'm training for a marathon. I have 4 boys between 15 and 23 in my blended family. They're living in 3 different states because we've got kids in college. We're traveling to see them. We're still, my husband and I still keeping up with our weekly date night, even if it might be a walk because we need to exercise that day. We just protect certain time. But what I've changed in my life is when I'm in this moment with you, I'm in this moment with you. It doesn't have to be for 3 hours. It might only be for 30 minutes, but I had that time and I built that meaningful, deep relationship. And that's important to me. That's what actually makes me feel happy and fulfilled inside. So then when I go to business, I focus on that and I be the best I can be in that. And then when I go and work out, I'm doing that and I'm focused on that. And the thing is that I'm not working less hours now. I'm just actually getting up a little bit earlier to check my boxes and make sure I get those things done. And then I'm just actually making appointments that I'm willing to keep. And I'm just being present in those moments. Because what I feel like I was really missing is I wasn't present in the moment because I was too frazzled. I was running everywhere. And that's probably what a lot of the people watching us feel is like they're just not able to slow down enough in their mind. And then what happens is you feel very anxious and your mind is running and you can't ever calm it. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I find is a challenge for the coaching clients that I have is how do I just calm my mind, stop living in my mind and start living my actual life? That was what
it's really, really hard because first of all, you need to fix the root of the problem because if that constantly keeps going, it doesn't matter how many hours in the day you need because you're still going to be doing that. So
yes,
even like you said, 30 minutes, just act like you're with another client, but really that is your time. It's really important. maybe even, it came to the point with me,
Mhm.
I literally sleeping 2-hour nights. I just could not stay afloat. And I realized I'm plateau. My business is plateau, not going anywhere until one night I came up with a perfect idea of hiring virtual assistants and I started passing that over. Now, I will be honest, the first 2 virtual assistants I hired, I sucked. It was me.
Yeah.
I did not commit to this hiring process, meaning to train them.
Yes.
And one of them, I think she could have done really good. The other one, she wouldn't have, but I didn't commit.
Mhm.
So it didn't work out. The second time I said, you know what? I was burned out because literally there's only so much you can do with only a couple hours of sleep. So you need to make that commitment. I said, look, I got this pile of things to do, but it's still going to be there after 60 hours. Wouldn't it be great if I take this time away and teach someone how to do 1/4 of that pile? You'll never have to do it again. One of the things though, and I might be getting out of subject, but I really like this topic, is as I was doing this, was really hard to commit.
Yeah.
First of all, very, very difficult. And I remember it was like 12:30 at night or 1:30. It was late in that night. And my assistant had done a presentation for me. There was one mistake. She had left at 12 and it needed to be at 10 and it would have affected all the numbers on the spreadsheet. I really wanted to get it out that night and I wanted to change it. I fought with myself for easily 30 minutes. Let's change it and be done with it. Don't change it because that means I'm going to have to change that all the time because it happens. They're human too. And if I would have changed it and then just told her about it later, that's not a mistake she did because she didn't go and fix it. So that means she it's not going to remember it.
Right.
So
yes, that's
I
right.
finally didn't do it. Didn't change the mistake. It took me so much lecturing me to keep the commitment that I set out for. And it's really hard to fall off that commitment, but you need to do it. It's so much easier when you can to have that time. And not to say that, now you're going to go probably even be more busy because you will go do what you actually like to do in your job. Then you fix that problem. But it is very important to recharge. Very important.
I think that you make a good point, Vicky, which is you have to commit to it and stay firm with it. Adam and I were talking that this journey of personal growth is actually harder than making money. It's a very difficult thing. Why is it difficult? Because what you just had to do, talk yourself out of it. You had to retrain your brain because your immediate habit and the way that your brain works is no, just go fix it, be done with it and move on. But you knew that that wasn't the right decision. And that if you did that, it would fix the short-term problem, but probably would not, probably make the long-term problem worse. So what I would say about personal growth is that the first thing is just being aware. Don't beat yourself up. You said, Vicky, at the beginning, you carry some guilt for some of the time. So do I. I think no matter what, as a mom, you probably do because we're not perfect. We're human beings. But if you're a working mom, there's always that little bit of guilt. Am I spending enough time here? Am I spending enough time there? I would say that for the first time ever in my life, I actually don't feel guilty when I'm doing things. And my whole life I did. If I was at work, I knew I needed to be there, but I felt guilty about it. If I was at home, I knew I needed to be there, but I felt guilty about it because I should have been with a client. It was a never-ending cycle. And it was a very unhappy place to live. But what you have to realize is it's nothing but your mind. The thing is that your mind is telling you that you should feel guilty. It's not actually a real thing. Like if you were to just realize that most of your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions are simply your mind and that you can take control of that, just like you did when you were talking to yourself and saying, don't go do this, retrain the brain. You can retrain the way you think. And I have done that to the point where it's like, I know what is important. I have clear distinguishing objectives, and I'm not going to allow my mind to come in and try to talk me out of that or make me fearful about something that I shouldn't, or make me feel guilty about something I shouldn't. Because at the end of the day, those aren't even real realities. They're just what I'm doing to myself. and I'm allowing my brain to do. So instead, I say, I'm not going to be fearful about hiring an assistant, because a lot of people are fearful of hiring leverage, right? It's costs money.
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to lead these people? The thing is that fear is just a figment of your imagination. You have to realize fear will always come into your mind, but you have to learn how to just call it out, move past it, and actually go take the risks that you need, because that's how you retrain your brain, that you're not going to allow your brain to talk you into things or out of things, which is what most people do when they live their mind instead of actually living the life that they want. And I know I did that for many years. I was fearful I wouldn't have enough money, so I let the fear drive me to overwork. You know, I was fearful of different things. And in reality, to your point, Vicky, the business will still be there. You know, it's not going to go away because I go spend 30 minutes to exercise in the morning, or I do one date night every other week. Like, that's just, we tell ourselves that story and our mind tells us that, but it's actually not the truth. And so
Exactly.
just realize, yeah.
I mean, I love it. It is some, you know, and this is exactly what I talk about. How many times have you heard anyone talk about this? We all say, yeah, we're busy. We're going to take the time. We're going to do it, but it's actually doing it. That's the harder part, and sticking to it.
Yes.
That's even harder. So
Yeah.
I love this. I think it's crucial for all you guys out there is just kind of analyze, and you don't even realize, I think, how much time you really do waste during the day because you are constantly on the go. Your mind can't be 100%.
Right.
You're just kind of putting out fires. That's
Mhm.
really what you're doing. And you're not fixing the actual root of the problem. If you get alert, get that clarity, it's going to help you throughout. So
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
It's
Love it.
So you made a really, really good point, which is, as moms, we feel like I only have so much time in a day and I'm being as productive as possible, but you're not being productive as possible when your mind is already on the next thing. The thing you're doing right now, you're actually not doing it the best that you could do it. You think you are. And I realized that, like, I could have actually probably, if I'd have been a little bit more present with certain clients, I probably could have got them under contract faster because I would have had a better indication of
Yes.
what to them. I would have asked some better questions. I would have slowed down. I would have built some rapport. I actually probably would have had a better, fighting with my teenager if I would have just stopped for 20 minutes and looked him in the eyes and had a meaningful conversation.
Yes. Yes.
Past that problem faster. Instead, I'm going so fast, nothing is efficient. I'm not using the power I have in the now because I'm not living in it. And it's actually making everything more. You have to actually do things more, I think. I think it actually convolutes our decisions. So your point of get clear, be in the moment, and be efficient and effective and have intense purpose, then you actually will get your stuff done faster and it will be better. You will feel better and happier and more fulfilled because you aren't just like you're just going through the motions. And that's a huge, huge aha. You said something which is, you know what to do, you're just not doing it. I say this in coaching. If you want to hire me I can coach you on systems and tell you what to do. But if I asked you the question, Vicky, do you know what you need to do right now? 99% of people would say, yes, I know what I need to do. Then why aren't you doing it? That's the actual question.
Oh, I like that. Oh, I'm gonna steal that one. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do that one.
And they're not doing it because of something that's holding them back in their growth. It always.
I have to write that one down. I love it.
If you're unwilling to have a conversation with somebody at work, how is that maybe leaking into your personal relationships as well? What if we could work on your ability to feel confident having some of those fierce conversations that will move your relationships forward? By the way, will probably move your relationships in business forward in a better way, make you a better leader. Because here's the reality. If you're a business owner, if you're in a career, it does not matter. Your personal growth always leaks into your business. And when you work on yourself, your business will always get better. But people will say, my business is plateaued. I can't figure out how to break through the ceiling of achievement. Then my question is, what areas in your life do we need to work on? Because most likely your business can only grow to the extent that you do. So if you stop growing over here, or if you've got some challenges over here, your business is going to halt. But when
and that's exactly what happens. You're not going to get past it because you're not fixing the issue to get past it, and you're not doing what you're good at, which you're getting tied down. A lot of it, as business owners, we think we can't afford it, but you don't realize how much more you get just by letting go of it. And it's just, you know, maybe our alpha in us that want to be in charge, who knows? But oh my gosh, I could talk to you for days. I love the subject. I love it.
We can always talk again for sure. There's a lot of great things. I would say when you just said our alpha, our ego, I always call our ego not in a negative way because we all have it as human beings. It's part of our brain. It is what is trying to protect us all the time. So it makes us feel good. It wants to make us feel like we're capable, or we are in charge, or we're in control. It also, though, is what will put things kind of on hold or make us fearful because it wants to keep us comfortable. It doesn't want us to take risks. I mean, our ego doesn't want us to put ourselves out there and maybe fail in front of everybody because that doesn't feel good, right? But here's the thing. We can be tied down by our ego, meaning we will be unwilling to take a risk because I attached everything to my business success for a period of time. Honestly, I felt like I actually was my business for a while. If I were to think about it, the reflection of how my business was directly related to me. It was who I was. So I was I was going to do anything to make sure I was successful in business. Why? Because I didn't know it, but I was trying to protect my ego, meaning, well, what happens, Cari, if you've always been selling 75 homes and one day you just decide you want to go spend more time with your kids or get your priorities straight, and now you only sell 30 homes, what is that going to look like? You know, what are people going to think? You're not going to make enough money, and all these negative things. And it was nothing to do about my business. It was a personal attack on me. Therefore, I was unwilling to make the changes because it was emotional to me. If I now can remove myself from my business and say, you know what, I am who I am no matter what. I'm happy and peaceful with myself no matter what happens. If my business is just something I get to do, this is something I get to do in this world on earth as a human being, but it has nothing to do with who I actually am. I'm going to actually remove a lot of fears, and I'm going to remove my ego, and I'm going to do business differently. I would venture to guess most of you watching make decisions based on maybe some fear or uncertainty or even on emotion. If you can remove that, think about how much more clear you can make your decisions. By the way, you will not be as stressed out about your business anymore either, because you know what? It is what it is. If this part fails, that's okay, because this is just my journey. It's an experience. I'll go rebuild it. I'll go figure something new out because I've done this already. I have confidence in myself. I can do it again. And that is a freeing moment when you no longer have to feel so tied to that and feel so stressed out about that. That's what I want people listening to hear. You can have a great business and not feel so chained to it.
Yes.
Okay.
And one of the things that you said that I do talk about this is, what are people going to say?
Mm-hmm.
I've gone through that area too. And I don't know if you go through enough in life, or maybe the older we get, but you know, it comes at one point, you know, we in business or in our personal life, we go through ups and downs. Yeah. Who is there when you're going through a down? Yeah. Who is really there? Those people that are saying, oh, look at her, she decided to go and spend date night instead of, you know, and she lost this client. Yeah. Those people are not the people you want in your inner circle. Right. Those are the people you're trying to put this front for and trying to be accepted for. Who are they? Who cares? Yeah. Be around the people that, you know, are not those ones that criticize. The ones that say, hey, why don't you go to date night? I'll go do that for you. Yeah. That work together with you and help you, you know, get ahead. Mm-hmm. Once you realize, don't worry about the Joneses. You don't want to beat them. Let them beat themselves. It makes it so much simpler too.
Oh yeah, and so much happier.
Yes.
not stressed out, worried about this anymore. You know, I'll tell you that I feel that there's so many things you can do for yourself. Date night. You know, I realized for many years, not having a healthy relationship did impact my business. It did.
Yeah.
You're stressed out. You're unhappy.
You're unhappy. You're crabby.
Yes, you're irritable. You're stressed. You have low energy. You're not at the best that you can be, right? So to go protect a relationship that is important to you is going to make your business better because you're going to be a happier person. So it's important. For me, when I started running every day or being on this training, it has made me be more focused because exercise just does that for me. So I feel more focused. But the other thing is I've had to commit to a training schedule, and it's helped me to commit to my time blocks in business better. I've been able to prove to myself, Cari, you can do what you say you're going to do. And I retrain my brain to commit to something. And then guess what? It's actually led to me committing to things in a different way in business. It's also helped me to attract different people in my life as far as business goes, which we all know. And you know this, Vicky, because you've got your virtual assistants and people supporting you. The level of talent you can have in your world, it changes your business. It changes your life. People want to be around somebody that is successful in life just as much as in business. I found that they want that because most people feel successful in business, but not necessarily in life. Yeah. So you can be that person to show I'm doing everything I can do to also grow myself. Look, there's ups and downs, there's failures, but I'm working on myself just as much as business. People will attract you. And then the beautiful thing is, if you're in business with them, you can help inspire them to go and grow themselves and change their life. And when you do that, they're going to be so loyal to you because
it's true.
They'll make money anywhere, right?
Yeah.
If you're a talented person, they can go make money anywhere. But if you change their life, if you help them change their life, their health, their relationships, they will forever be grateful to you. And that's not something they can go get just somewhere else working. In fact, most companies don't talk about this stuff, to your point. Most people don't talk about this stuff.
No. And those are the kind of people, again, like, you know, I talk about the inner circle a lot because it's so important. I wouldn't be in where I'm at today had I not made that choice 5 years ago to completely get out of the circle that I was in, and I did a completely different life change experience. So it was a choice that hurt. It hurt the heart a lot, but I wouldn't be here today. And I went through a lot of struggles. Did I think, oh, maybe I made the wrong decision many times? Of course I did. But now looking back, I see I didn't. I did exactly what I was supposed to do. So, I mean, I completely love it. If someone out there wants to speak with you some more and be able to get some coaching, where can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook if you'd like. That's a great place. I do videos all the time. I love to interact. You can private message me. You can follow me or friend request me. So if you look me up and just, you can see my name here. Is this just an Audible, Vicky, or are they?
Nope. You can see it too. Let me make sure. Yeah, showing the name right there.
Yeah, so Cari Heibel-Briner, that's my hyphenated last name. So you can find me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or on Instagram, just type this in. Otherwise, Cari, C-A-R-I, at AdamHergenrother.com. That's a little bit of a hard one, but if you start...
We'll put the link below, so then that way they can get a hold of you.
That's my email. You can also go to AdamHergenrother.com and just take a look at our coaching. There's a great podcast that I've been on a few times with him there too, and just some good resources for free. And so all that information will be for you. But I do offer one-on-one free strategy calls. There's absolutely no obligation. If you're somebody that is just really kind of missing the personal growth piece or just wants to chat for 15 or 20 minutes, I'm always happy to do that. And if you email me, we can get that set up. So
beautiful. Well, ladies, you heard her. I told you it was going to be something amazing today. So I'm really excited. Thank you so much for coming on the show, because I love this topic, and I like to touch up on things that we all go through it, but we don't talk about it. So this is a hard one sometimes. Again, thank you. You've been amazing, and would love to speak with you some more later on.
Absolutely. We will do that. Thanks so much, Vicky. I appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.